Well, now let us move to the next type of representation, that is line graph. Now the directions are given. You can see on the screen that this is a typical line graph. You can see 3 lines are there in this graph. One is the blue one, which represents Team India. One is the red one, which represents Team Australia, and the green one represents Team England. So what type of graph it is? It represents, this graph represents runs scored by 3 different teams in 5 different cricket matches. Now the horizontal axis represents different match. Match number 1, match number 2, match number 3, match number 4, match number 5. So this 5 different matches. And the vertical axis that represent runs scored by a particular team. Okay, and as I mentioned, the 3 different colors will represent 3 different teams. Now the first question, total runs scored by India and Australia in match 4 together in approximately what percentage of the total runs scored by England in all the 5 matches together. So first, if you calculate the total run scored by India and Australia together in match 4, that is, the India scored 190 in match 4 and Australia scored 220 in match 4. So the total run 190 plus 220, that is 410. Now in all 5 matches, England scored 160 in the first match plus 180 in the second match, in the third match 230, fourth match 270 and fifth match 300. So the total is 1140. So basically now you need to find that 410 is what percentage of 1140, and if you calculate that, you will get 36%. So that means option C, which mentions 36, is the correct one. Next, the question is, in which match is the difference between the runs scored by Australia and England second lowest? Now again, the first method is the traditional method. Work out all the calculations. So first you find out, as like it is there in the solution, in match 1 the difference is 260 minus 160. So Australia scored 260, England scored 160. So the difference is 100. In match 2, Australia scored 330 and England scored 180, difference is 150. In match 3, runs scored by Australia was 310, runs scored by England was 230, so the difference was 80. Similarly, in match 4, the difference is 270 minus 220, that is 50. In match 5, the difference is 300 minus 150, that is 150. Now once you have the difference in runs for all the matches, then you can easily recognize that which one is the second lowest. And as you can see here, that match 3 is the second lowest difference. So that is 80. The lowest difference is 50, which happened in match 4. So the second lowest difference is 80, which happened in match 3. So that means option C is the correct option. But again, like as you need to work out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different calculations, it is again time consuming. Now instead of doing so, you can resort to this logical choice of answer. What you will do? Again, the difference means what? The difference in runs will be well represented by the difference in the height in the graph. So as you can see that those blue color marked and the red color mark, there is a gap between this mark for a particular match. Let's say for match 2, there is a gap between the red colored mark and the blue colored mark. That gap will represent the difference in run between Team India and Team Australia in match 2. Understand? Now, what we need to find? We need to find the difference. So, second lowest difference. Now, you can see between Australia and England for the first match, the difference between the red colored mark and the green color marks is appreciable. So, it is in the answer, option actually. For second, that is more than the first case. So, that means the first option is now rejected. Then the second one, third one is, again this is shorter than this second case. So, if it is shorter than second case, that means you have to accept it. You have to accept it. So, third one. For fourth it is very, very small. It is very small, rather it is the smallest. The gap is smallest. So, it means this is the lowest difference. And for match 5, again it is appreciable. So, that means, as you can see, that the second lowest difference is in the match 3. Okay, the next question. In which match the total runs scored by India and England together is the third highest? Now, for this it is very easy to calculate. You simply add the runs scored by India and England for all these different matches. So, for match 1, runs scored by India is 320, runs scored by England is 160. So, the total is 320 plus 160, 480. For match 2, India scored 240 and England scored 180. So, the total is 240 plus 180, that is 420. For match 3, runs scored by India is 270 and runs scored by England is 230. So, the total is 500. For match 4, the total is 190 plus 270, that is 460. And for match 5, the total is 220 plus 300, that is 520. So, now if you compare all these 5 results, you can easily recognize that which one is the third highest. And as you can see that 480 is the third highest score, and that occurred in match number 1. So, it means option A is the correct option. Next sum. What is the respective ratio between the runs scored by India in match 5, Australia in match 1 and England in match 2? So, you need to find the ratio. Now, in match 5, India scored 220 runs. In match 1, Australia scored 260 runs. And in match 2, England scored 180 runs. So, what is the required ratio? The ratio is 220 is to 260 is to 180. Now, if you simplify, you will get 11 is to 13 is to 9. So, that means option D is the correct option. 11 is to 13 is to 9. Next sum. What are the average runs scored by all the 3 teams in match 3 together? It's very easy to find. Simple addition. So, runs scored by India in match 3 is 270. Runs scored by Australia is 310. Runs scored by England is 230. So, the total is 270 plus 310 plus 230. So, the average is 270 plus 310 plus 230 divided by 3, and that will give you 270. So, option B is the correct option. Well, now this is another line graph. So, here you can see again the directions are given, that study the following graph carefully and answer the questions that follow. So, what does this graph represent? It represents the profit percent by 2 different companies. One is company M, other one is the company L. Over the period of time, that is starting from 2004 ending at 2009. So, the horizontal axis of this graph represents different year starting from 2004 and ending at 2009, and the vertical axis represents the profit percent by both company M separately and company L separately. So let's start. The first question, if the profit earned by company L in the year 2005 was rupees 1.84 lakh, what was the profit earned by the company in the year 2006? Now as you can see from the graph that the profit of the company L in the year 2005 is 1.84 lakh, and in the year 2006 there is a 25% raise in the profit of the company L. So that means in 2006 the profit of company L must be 1.84 into 125 by 100 because there is a 25% raise. That is the raise, increment, raise 25%. So the net profit must be 1.84 into 100 plus 25, that is 125 by 100. And if you calculate that, you will get 2.3 lakh. So that means option B is the correct option. Next one. The next question is, what was the percentage increase in percent rise in profit of company M in the year 2009 from the previous year? So you can see that in 2008 the profit percent was 20 for company M, and in the year 2009 it became 35. So the increment is 35 minus 20, that is 15. So the percentage increase is the percentage of profit, not percentage increase, is percentage in profit is 35 minus 20 by 20 into 100. So that is 75%. So that means option D is the correct option. Next one. The question is, if the profit earned by company M in the year 2008 was rupees 3.63 lakh, then what was the amount of profit earned by it in the year 2006? Now, as you can see that in 2008, in the year 2008, the profit percentage was 20%, and in the year 2007, profit percent was 25%. So that means in 2006, the profit of this company must be 3.63. That is the total profit earned in the year 2008. That 3.63 lakh into 100 by 120. You are coming to 2007 into 100 by 125. You come to 2006. So if you calculate that, you will get 2.42 lakh. So that means option C is the right option. Now the question is, what was the average percent rise in profit of company L over all the years together? So let us find out what is the total profit percent for company L over all the years together. So in the first, that is the 2004, in the starting year, it was 20, then 15, then 25, then 30, next 35, and finally 30. If you add all these, you will get 155. So the average is 155 divided by 6. 6 different years are there. So 155 by 6. So that is 25 and 5 by 6. So it means option E is the correct one, because that 25 and 5 by 6 is not there in any of these options. So it means none of the above, that is option E would be the right choice. Alright.